Hi everybody, welcome to week 6. So I wanted to pop on here and do kind of a brief overview of this week and week 7 because they kind of go together. So this week is all about beginning to gather and summarize and get your initial research and ideas together and begin to write your final paper. So for the study guide and the discussion forum this week, it's going to be a little different. The focus guide and the discussion post, the initial post and focus guide will be due on Friday. And the reason I'm doing that is because your focus guide will be your discussion post. So in the focus guide, it guides you to begin to initially pull some of your research together and your analysis together from these past 5 weeks. Pull in some data collection from assessments and demographic data, things like that. And it's asking you to begin to identify your top 3 major program gaps or problem areas that you see in your school that you are going to work to fix. So you're finding your 3 major special education problematic issues. And then the focus guide asks you to begin to think about your initial recommendations for change and how you would bring about that change. So it follows a very similar structure to the focus guides, but this is really now we're pulling it all together. So your discussion forum post on Friday will be your completed focus guide, but I'd suggest again copy and paste the content and your answers into a discussion forum post. And just to make it easier to interact within the discussion forum. But then in addition, you are going to submit your focus guide, that Word document, to a Dropbox. So you'll get 2 grades still this week, the focus guide and the discussion forum. And for the discussion forum, all I'm asking you to do is to provide feedback and comments and on each other's posts to just help each other look at the data a new way, give suggestions, maybe on recommendations for change, or maybe looking at the data, you see it in a new way from a new perspective, and then you can help the other person maybe take a new perspective or a new stance or look at the issues they laid out. So week 6 is just initial organization and ideas for your final paper. And then week 7, we don't really have anything formal. You're just working on your paper, and then you submit it Sunday. Along with week 7, you also have a reflection to complete. And this is part of what you actually have to do for your internship principal portfolio. So you're kind of getting a head start on that. And then your internship log is due at the end of next week. So remember, in week 6, I posted the week 6 focus guide and the week 7 final paper template just to help you see everything that is required in the final paper. And I included the final rubric. So when you write and when you're going about and writing your final paper, so this week's focus guide can still be, kind of bulleted, loose and formal form, but the final paper you submit in week 7 it's a formal paper, APA style, narrative form. Some bullets, if needed, is okay, but I'm seeing a structured paper with introduction, narrative summaries, using headings are fine and appropriate, but it's a narrative paragraph format, not a bulleted, numbered format that the focus guides have been in. This is an actual formal paper with research citations, reference page at the end, APA style, that sort of thing. So again, use the rubric that I've posted to help guide you as you are writing your paper these next 2 weeks. Okay. Trying to think and going through the final focus guide in my head. So when you're looking at the final paper focus guide, the first 4 or 5 numbered items are pretty much everything you have gathered and researched and completed through weeks 1 through 5. Then you have to ensure that the areas that you are pointing out and finding as gaps or needs in your school is also, the administration also views this and sees this as a need. You identify the 3 major issues you are going to work on. You do a very informal root cause analysis where you try to get to the root cause of these problems. You develop recommendations for change, and then you detail how you as a principal would bring about that change. And the important part is when you're writing your paper, to be integrating the research citations through the paper. So it would be important to include this when you're summarizing your special education program needs, and you're saying, this is where our school is at. It's a gap or a problem because research says we should be here. And then when you're detailing your recommendations and how you bring about change, this is critical for you to be citing and supporting your recommendations with the research. Because again, as we've talked about, this makes it stronger and this grounds it. It's not just, idea you're kind of pulling from the air. You're saying, hey, I think we should do this because Kouzes and Posner says this is a best practice in leadership. So I'll talk a little bit more about that next week when I pop on, but this hopefully should give you a good overview and help you get going this week and help you continue to move through next week. So I will be on the discussion boards this week, giving feedback through the discussion. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Okay, hope everyone has a great week. Bye-bye.